Alrighty, it is Wednesday, but I have to go back to Tuesday really quick. So, um, I realized way too late that the fire alarm and emergency sprinkler exam was going on. In fact, after I was done recording, suddenly the alarm went on in the bedroom. It went on like 3 times. I hung out in the bathroom briefly with Monica, but then I went straight back to coloring and editing audio at like 10. Ate lunch around 10:30, and then the inspectors came in, looked at all of our sprinklers at 11:35. I had completed 2 audio files, and I got halfway with the graphics for pages 5 and 6. I got tired and I stopped at 12. And then Monica read a few more chapters of that collab project that we did, and while I worked on the drafts. And I went back on at 1. I finished the art at 2. I added the text and loaded the pages at 2:50, and then I decided to go straight to sleep. I had a bit of trouble getting to sleep. I woke up at 7, and then I went back on to work on the drafts. I printed out the blues, and then I line arted until I think it was like 7:52. I completed page 8. I got tired and I crashed at 9, and by that point I only had 1 audio file and 1 panel left to work on. I woke up at 2:50. I got up out of bed and resumed working at like 3. And then I finished that 1 audio file, and at the same time I was finishing that page while I was line arting. One got done at 3:30 and the other one got done at 3:34. So as soon as I was done, I ended up assembling and passing off the pages to Monica at 4, and I went straight back to bed. Alrighty, so I woke up at like 6:11. Monica immediately got out of bed, whereas I didn't get up until like 6:30. I almost forgot to set my video to compress because all the files were done being edited. I did that before like 7. We ended up flipping through all of our memo pads after breakfast, and I took one of the new memo pads, and then we put one of the old memo pads that we bought. I think it was a cherry blossom memo pad we put on the memo clipboard in the living room. And I sharpened all the new Valentine's Day pencils. I'm so excited about using those. And then my video finished compressing at 6:40, so I sent it to convert. And then I started sprinting through the script for chapter 50. I stopped at about 8:20 because my converted video was done, so I started compressing it. And that finished at like 8:30, so I went back on, loaded it. And then Monica left for CVS while I went to work on the pages. She got back at 10 right as I was finishing the graphics. And when I was getting off, maintenance came to fix the cabinets, and for some really weird reason, the manager came to see what he was doing, and then randomly the guy cleaned our sink for no damn reason, and we were completely confused by that because it wasn't on his list of things to do. So he sprayed some stuff right next to the where Monica was cooking, and she got scared that the chemicals were going to get on the food, so she rewashed all the lettuce and the salad and the chicken and everything. It was just So he left. Oh, when did he leave? I think he left at like 10:30. So we ate. We ate like between like 11 and 12, and then after that, I went back on to finish the pages. I realized too late after Monica left for Vaughn's because she needs to go get lettuce and stuff. I realized I forgot to record, so I'm recording right now, but I'm also still on, and I have to go back and finish the pages. So I'm almost done, and the day's not even like over yet. I mean, I usually end the day at 3. It's not even 1 yet. So as soon as I'm done with these pages, most likely I'm going to dive headfirst into the script. I'm actually going to start typing it out. I don't know if there's anything else I need to work on. I think that was virtually it. I know I have out of all the extras I need to do this month, I only have 1 ready, which is not good. We still have chapter 49 to do. I'm hoping next week I'll have more ready to work on. I think that's virtually all I can talk about. Tomorrow's Monica's appointment, so I figure I'll work on everything that's not done yet then. The script more or less is not ready though, so I feel like at worst I think I'll probably have the script done Saturday. That's a guess. That I don't really know. I'm hoping that I can get a jump on 51 and 52 also during the week that I'm working on random shit. So we'll see how that goes. Alrighty then, that's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, it is Thursday, but I have to go back to Wednesday really quick. So I went back on and I finished the pages. I was completing them right as Monica was coming back from Vaughn's. We watched a little bit of YouTube together, and then I got a head start on the pages for tomorrow. And then after that, I spent 1:30 working on chapter 50 and other summaries. I was actually typing it out. And I mostly brainstormed out some of the things that need to happen from different scenes. I didn't actually get very much typed out as far as the script goes, just this little bit that I wrote like earlier in the day, but that was it. Stopped at 2:47. I lazed around in bed until Monica's clinic called reminding her that her appointment was the next day. So after that we went to sleep, or I tried to sleep. I finally figured out what I wanted to do to make chapter 50 work, especially to have Pasha resolve to help Philippe, which is mostly because he decides to help Fouinard. And I feel like I feel a little bit stuck still, but once realizing that I needed to change this one thing, I feel much less stuck than before. So yeah, I got out of bed at 5:50. I finished and scanned the drafts at like 6 p.m. I printed them out. I finished the page 10 liner at 6:40, and I got tired at 7 before I could finish the page 9 liner. So I went to sleep. I had a really shitty time trying to actually fall asleep, and I was hoping to wake up between like 12 and 1 a.m., but instead I woke up at 3. So I assembled the pages by 4:12. I got off immediately, and then I went back to bed. Monica got up at 6. I got up at 6:30 the next day. I loaded Mob Psycho 100. The episode was about chasing urban legends, and I wasn't really all that into it. In fact, I did a little bit of line arting while it was going on. So yeah, we split up after breakfast. Monica colored while I line arted, and I finished Dominique's comic, 4-panel comic in chapter 33, I think it is. And then I did the chapter 34 illustration picture. So that's as much as I got done. In fact, I didn't quite completely finish that illustration before we left. In fact, we left at like 8:30, 40 something. And we got there at like 8:50 something. And while she was doing her appointments, because she had like 3 appointments back to back, I ended up going through the drafts for all the remaining 4-panel comics. I finished the illustration that wasn't done yet, and then I was too tired to write. I was mentally beat from doing all that artwork, so I ended up working on what was it called? The calendar. I was trying to figure out at what point I should break the queue, because like, logic speaking, it makes the most sense to break during the worst time of the year for webcomics, which is always September, October, November, and December. I feel like November and December are the absolute worst times of the year for webcomics. But I know that I also consider doing chapter 40 around there and breaking at that point. That means like taking the queue and pausing it for a while, but I can't think of how long I need to pause. I feel like 2 weeks is not enough. A month would be better. Honestly, 2 months would be even better, because it takes like 2 months to do one set of stuff. So I don't know. I'm gonna see what state we're in by the time we get to chapter 40. Well, as in by the time that chapter 40 reaches the queue, and if I don't have enough by that point, I won't break it. So I need to decide. Monica got out at like, oh man, when did she get out? Oh man, I can't remember when she got out. Oh, it was like 11 something. I don't know, that we got home at like 11:30. We ate lunch, and I set up and finished all the line art that I completed and gave it to her, and it dragged on with the amount of time I could have used working on pages until at 9 and 10. so I didn't get to work on that until like around after lunch. So I completed page 10 around 12:30, and then I just got off. So that leads me to right now. So the next thing I need to do is I'm concerned about the state of chapter 49. I kind of want to go and I kind of want to revise it, so I'm going to reread it. And if there's anything I can take out, I know one thing I'm probably going to take out is that last final scene between Loris and Tag, because like I feel like we don't know either of them well enough for that to have make an impact. So I'm just going to take out that scene and then maybe make it an extra, or maybe revise it down so it's not as painful as the way that he initially delivered it. I don't know. I want to add the scenes where Pasha is reacting more to Philippe, so I'm going to change the last panel where Philippe thanks Tag for giving him consent, and then I'm going to add a panel where Pasha is looking directly at Philippe after Philippe disowns him. So after I'm done removing the scene with Loris and Tag, I'm going to see how much I can actually expand out, and if I can squeeze in there, I don't know. I'll figure it out later though. Alrighty then, that's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, it is Friday, but I have to go back to Thursday really quick. So at 1:30, I reread through chapter 49. I cut out the scene I said I would. I didn't actually have as much trouble reorganizing all the pages that I thought I would. I was able to add the scenes that I wanted to add, and then I expanded specific scenes that needed to be expanded on. So that's as much as I did with it. When I was done with it, I ended up scribbling out a new beginning for chapter 50, one that actually includes Pasha and his reactions. And while it does give the chapter direction, I still feel like it doesn't solve my major problem of trying to figure out how to make Philippe get the upper hand in the conversation with him and Warren, because there's just no way to do it. I guess because logically I feel like I don't see Philippe as being smarter than Warren, so I feel like it would be really absurd for Philippe to actually get the upper hand on Warren. And in the end, the only reason why Warren is gonna fold is because Philippe is so damn stupid. I mean, literally the last thing he says is, "All right, I'm gonna go and save you." And no, I'm talking about you moron. So yeah, okay. So I have to think about how to like structure it so I can get there. So I need to do a lot of reverse engineering because that's my destination. I have to reverse engineer my way to that. Okay, so I'm not really sure what it's gonna take. I'm gonna have to do something to get there. I went back on at about like 2. I finished and loaded the pages at like 3:30. I ended up finishing the drafts for pages 11 and 12 at 3:44 because we were watching stuff on the internet, and I was my attention was mostly divided. I printed out the drafts in blue and I got off. I laid around in bed until 5. We got up and made a light dinner, and then I went back to bed. I got up at 8 because I really just could not sleep. I finished the liner for page 12 at 8:33, and then I got tired and I crashed at 9. So, I wanted to wake up at 12 or 1, but I ended up waking up at 4:41, so it was practically 5 o'clock. I went straight back to line arting whatever I didn't finish on the pages, and then I ended up finishing and passing them off to Monica at like 5:32. So after that, I went straight to fixing chapter 49 and printing out the new drafts. I got all the scenes of Tag's office and Warren's office in all the scenes. So those are done. I just need to do the Tradewind Brigade HQ scenes. And then I had this one scene where the Hurricane Brigade is standing in a parlor with Dominique, and I have to literally sit there and think of the parlor, and I haven't had a chance to do that. So if I get done early, because I still feel like the pages 11 and 12 are actually fairly easy today, I more or less will go straight back to working on the drafts. I want to get those completely done so I can just focus completely on chapter 50 tomorrow. So Monica got out of bed at 6 and made breakfast. We ate, and then she went on really quick to do some coloring because we were waiting for the kids to go into school so we can go to Northgate. Because like, the annoying thing about living next to a school is that you just can't really pass by the school without all this like congested traffic of parents trying to drop off their kids. So we waited for all that to be over first before we went out. So she did some coloring. I cut out some more to-do lists, and I need to print out more of them. My to-do list only go up to like the second week of February, and that's it. So we left at 8. We went to Northgate. Well, technically we didn't go straight to Northgate. We went to Target. I found a penny. We found a whole bunch of bottles and cans. We picked up some grandma's chicken. We got some goat cheese macaroni, and then we bought a brand new shower curtain. Our last shower curtain, I think, was like a year old already, and when we bought it, it was already scratched up. So this new shower curtain is really, really pretty. It's like blue marble mosaic. It looks really nice. So I'm actually really excited about taking a shower tomorrow because I want to see what it looks like from the inside. Okay, so we hit Northgate. They actually changed something in the back where you can enter from the back, and it's like a guardrail, and like it opens its gate for you when you're entering, but there's no way to there's no way to leave in the opposite direction. And Monica was complaining. It's like, oh, well, what if in the case of an emergency, how we exit out that way? And I'm like, I guess we're gonna have to run through the cashier. The nearest cashier area is the fastest way to pass through that. I don't know, but yeah, I finally dawned upon me, like once I realized I actually saw that thing that the guardrail added. I realized why they usually keep that back door locked in the morning, and it's typically just to avoid people stealing. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't really, think that would be the case. But yeah, after we got the water, we headed home. We ended up getting back at 9. I went straight to work on page 11. I finished the major coloring. There's only one graphic I need to add, and that's the scene in which Dominic realizes that despite the fact that she got rid of the only malware she thought she owned, she actually still has malware, and like I need to make that panel. I realized too late I forgot to add her jewelry box in the scene, so I was like quickly inserting it. Oh god. Quickly inserting it digitally. Is there anything else that I did? I think that's virtually it. I got tired and I got off at 10:30. I didn't go any farther than that. Monica's still coloring in page 12, I think. So my goal is to go back on, finish 11 and 12, add the text, add everything to that, and load everything, and then go back to printing out all of the chapter 49 stuff. Because I just want to spend all of Saturday working on the script for chapter 50. I actually want to wake up fucking early for this. I want to wake up or maybe even work up into the middle of the night working on it, because I need that script done. I want it done this week. Actually, honestly, I wanted it done 2 weeks ago. I wanted it done forever ago. I have a sinking feeling if 50 is going to actually go all the way into 51, which bugs me because I feel like it just keeps pushing back the two most important things: the conversation between Fauna and Byron, which I put everything on pause so I can work on I put that on pause so I can work on this, and it also pushes back when the characters are going to dispatch, which I feel like is fucking annoying because I feel like we should have been dispatched by the middle of the last volume. But it makes me so mad. It's taking forever to get there. That means that I don't have much time to get through the combat portion of this, and considering how long it took to get through Simon and Fauna's battle, I'm worried that the actual combat portion is going to take up the majority of the volume, and I still won't have accomplished what I needed to accomplish. Which means that by the time that Pasha actually gets to meet his parents and make friends with them, I'm probably going to get less than a volume to do that. So I don't know if this story is going to end up on volume 10 or if I'm going to have to do something dumb and add a volume 11. So I'm like, okay, if it gets that bad, I'm going to have to take 2 month long break. So I'm thinking maybe October, maybe November, maybe December, around there. I'm going to have to actually take the cue and stop it completely. So yeah, I don't know, because I need more time to work on this. And it's not giving me enough time. So, oh no, we'll have to find out. Is there anything else that's on my mind? No, I think that's virtually it. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. Alrighty then, that's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, it is Saturday, but I have to go back to Friday really quick. So, Monica completed coloring in page 12 sometime around 11. I went back on, I did the artwork, I did the text, and I got done loading all the pages by 2, I think. I'm not really sure. I wasn't keeping track of time. And then I resumed printing out the drafts for chapter 49. I printed out all of the scenes for the storage unit, and everything looks more or less what I needed to look like. It was a bit difficult. And then that left me with just one page, page 3, where I had to design yet another location. I was just like, I don't want to sit here and think about it. I'll do it tomorrow. So, I got off at 3 and I went to bed. I don't know how long it took me to fall asleep. All I know is that Monica woke me up in the middle of the night. It was 12, I think 12:30. I don't really remember. So, like, I was thinking to myself, I don't know how long I've been asleep. I'm gonna assume that maybe got like 9 hours sleep. That's the best case scenario. I really don't know how long it took me to fall asleep. I ended up lazing around trying to decide if I wanted to get up because I knew I needed to work on that stuff. I needed to do that one last page, and I needed to work on the script. So I got to bed at 2 a.m. I completed that one page after I planned out that new location. I had the page printed out by 3:21, and then for the rest of the time I worked on the chapter 50 script. So I typed out all I could for chapter 50. I ended up just like having way more to say about after the situation than being in the situation, which is the worst part. Because like the whole entire chapter is the situation, and I feel like I felt so stuck. So like I just spent the whole time just writing out what I thought was supposed to happen. I had a hard time figuring out how I wanted it to begin. I came up with 2 random ideas where one, Philippe and Foyer were arguing with each other, which I felt like wasn't interesting. Another one where Libelle and Clotilda come by and peek on them to find out how things are going on, and then Pasha catches them up, and I feel like, oh no, that slows things down too much. It really annoys me how ever since the Fweeb Edge special, I have always had problems with Byron, Clotilda, and Libelle eating time. It's just like not even before I started doing this comic, literally not even before I started doing this comic. It's like back when I was doing the specials for the last comic. They've always ate time, and it just upsets me how I lose so much with them being in there and asking questions and whatnot. It makes me so mad that I had to cut out so much of what they had to react to during the gas station scenes. They just slow things down. So yeah. At about 5-ish, Monica got up, and then I ended up telling her what I was doing. I also showed her a video, and then we ended up getting off at about like 5:30, I think. So she went back to sleep. She laid down, and then I ended up just updating my journals, and then I ended up cleaning up this entire area, my entire work nest area around my bed, and like I moved a lot of stuff. I shredded a bunch of things. I need to put some things in the shred pile. There's so much that needs to be shredded. I hope Monica remembers to shred it. So yeah. Monica got out of bed at about 6 to make breakfast, and then after we ate breakfast, we decided to go somewhere. I feel like, I don't know if this was a bad idea to go, because I was hoping to spend all day just working on the chapter, but at the same time I also felt stuck, so I felt like I could really benefit from getting out. So we went to Saskatella, and we arrived at, I think we left at like 7:30, and we got there at like 8:50, so it was almost 9 o'clock. We went straight to Joann's. It just barely opened up by the time we got there, and we looked around. There were some fabrics we wanted to get, but we ended up settling for a specific pink fabric, and we got that. There wasn't anything else that I felt like I absolutely needed, although there was fabrics that I would just love to turn those into things like bags or TNs or whatever. I just had to pass on it because I don't have time for it right now. So then after that we went to Michael's, and we wanted, actually technically we didn't go to Michael's. We hit Wendy's and used the bathroom. Then we went to Michael's, wandered around for a little bit, and Monica started getting hungry, so we ended up going to Daiso, and we found the scissors that we were trying to find initially. It basically looks like a chapstick, but when you open it up, it's a pair of scissors inside, and we got that. I got more glue sticks, and then the last thing we got was these Tombow, I think they're basically like stick erasers for like eraser pens. And Monica wanted to see if they would work with the Papermate pencils that we have. And yeah, they actually fit just fine. So I put one in my Papermate pencil. I have a green one, and Monica has I have like a dark green one. Monica has a light green one. We used to have a pink one, but I destroyed it during a time that we were traveling. So like, she eventually just tossed it out. And then after Daiso, we went down to Target. We locked up our bikes, and then we hit the Taco Bell next door. We got lunch, and then we went back to Target, wandered around a little bit, picked up some Milanos, and left. So for the first time, we took the street called Meats. It's right next to the area. We took Meats straight down, and it got us to, I didn't see the name of the street. It got us to basically where the train crossing was, and then we took that street down and went home. And I feel like that was a much better street to go down than going all the way to oh, I don't remember the name of the other street. Maine? No, it's not Maine. I don't remember the name of the other street. Okay, so yeah, we got home at about like, I'm gonna say 12:30. I wasn't paying attention. Updated our journals and planners. Monica took a rest at 1 o'clock, and I reminded her we had to take a shower, but she wasn't feeling it. She was too tired. So I went back on. I typed out as much as I could remember that I thought of while we were biking, because I was spending the whole time thinking about what to have happen. And it finally occurred to me that there's a possibility that Warren could at some point get so sick of talking to Philippe that he'll actually want to just leave and to say, oh, let's talk about this in the morning, because I'm fucking tired. And like, that's when Philippe Posley, they messed up ultimatum on him. And I feel like that's a much better segue than what I was initially planning, because I was trying to figure out how to segue into it. And the issue is I still have to think of how to make Warren piss Philippe off. But the issue is I have to sit down and think, okay, between the 3 questions Warren has, this is what the hell with Dominic, what the hell with Pasha, and what the hell with Fuer, I have to figure out which of the 3 of them is going to be the shortest conversation and which of the 3 of them is going to be the longest conversation, and trying to figure out how to sew them all together with really like organic segues. And like, I feel like the longest conversation that's going to make or break the thing should be Fuer, but at the same time I also feel like maybe it's not the right approach. So I have to figure out, I was thinking about going one conversation at a time and seeing which one does the best segueing, and if I have any opening to segue into things. So I don't know, because like if I just do it one conversation at a time and like, okay, this is the subject, I feel like Philippe cannot shut down the conversation, and I feel like that's all I can see him doing is shutting down the conversation about Dominic and shutting down the conversation about Pasha, because he just doesn't want to talk about it. And I feel like I only have ideas up until when he shuts Warren down about Dominic, but I can't think of how to segue the situation with Dominic to Pasha, because I have to figure out, it's like, okay, well, subject about Dominic, and then I think it was Warren brings up the fact that they claim that Pasha came down there because she invited him, and then why. And I don't know if the Philippe doesn't seem to know that at the point, and they've never expounded on to him about it, and I don't think he would actually want to talk about it too much, because like it's really neither here nor there as far as his agenda is. So I don't think he'd actually know, and I feel like he'd probably just say he doesn't care about it, and then bring in the whole situation with Fuer, because Fuer's the one who, according to Tag, actually confirmed that this happened. So I feel like Pasha will have to be like the smallest subject in between this. They're gonna bounce, but Pasha probably is the segue between a conversation about Dominic and the conversation about Fuer. Because like that's the only thing I could think of from getting a point A to point B, and trying to do this within a certain amount of time. Because like once this is all over, they have to resolve whether or not they're going to continue helping Philippe, because like Philippe just is going to move the goalpost because of Warren. And what I wrote so far onto the computer, Fuer predicted it, and more or less everything that's happening, Fuer has generally predicted it. Everything's turning into generally how he expected it to turn into, which makes him upset, which is why he keeps trying to get off the carousel, but he can't because they won't let him. So, I'm trying to figure out how much more can I put this character through before he loses his marbles. he was supposed to lose his marbles by the time Simon comes into the story, but I kind of feel like I feel like so much shit has happened that if Simon comes in here and he's not a sympathetic person, I feel like it just destroys everything with Fear. Then again, I feel like at this point Simon is probably going to be the harbinger of the story. So I don't know. Alrighty then. Monica got out of bed at 2. I got off and we took a shower, so now I'm recording. I'm 99.9% sure I'm gonna go back on and try to type some more, but I kind of feel like maybe I should stop and try to get a head start on pages 1 and 2 for tomorrow. So get back to work on the thing that upsets me is that I have to do audio editing on Monday and Tuesday. I think I'm not sure when I'm gonna get done with it. All I know is that I can't use those days for writing. So I won't be able to pick up with this again until Wednesday unless I find some time to squeeze in writing on Monday or Tuesday. I'm like, it sucks so much. Best case scenario, it'll be Monday. Alright, then that's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty, it is Sunday, but I have to go back to Saturday really quick. I'm not really sure at what point that I did this. I know that we ate a light dinner and then I worked on the drafts for pages 1 and 2. And I did a little bit of light line arting to page 2, I think, before I got off at 4. And I think maybe it was when I was waiting for Monica to finish updating her journal so we can get in bed. I ended up working on my September journal for the end of 2019. And I managed to get as really close to October as possible. So I was at the time almost done with that book. So I think I fell asleep at 5. I woke up at 8:30. I resumed work on pages 1 and 2. Finished page 1 at 9:33, finished page 2 at 9:49, so it was almost 9:50. Assembled the pages and passed them off to Monica at like 10:22, and then I colored in page 1 until 11. I got tired and I went straight to bed. I was hoping I would wake up at 5, and oh my god, I actually woke up at 5 in the morning. I was so lucky. Okay, so Monica got up at 5:30. She made food early. I stopped in the middle of the coloring for the background coloring for page 1 at like 6:30. We ate breakfast and we watched a little bit of YouTube. I got off at 7. I recorded a new brainstorm for chapter 50. It may still not be clear, but I feel like I see the light at the end of the tunnel, so I'm a lot more confident than I was in the last time I brainstormed it. So I think I'm definitely going to knock that thing out this week. I just don't know at when. I think at worst case scenario, I'll be working on next Friday. I'm like, no, thank you. I want to work on it sooner. But I have other stuff I need to do. Like I need to unload this phone because I think this is the 5th recording, and tomorrow's going to be the 6th recording. I don't really remember. Alrighty, so I took a break at 7:40. Monica stopped to cut an apple, and we decided to go grocery shopping. So while I was waiting for her to finish coloring in page 2, I ended up getting my September journal all the way to November, and then I stopped. She got done a little bit past 8 o'clock. I had unloaded my phone, my other phone, of the brainstorm I did for the chapter, but I converted the audio, but I haven't listened to it yet. So maybe I can work on that later. I'm not sure, but she gave me the pages at like 8:10ish, and then we left from Albertsons. Spent like $40 on food. Got home at like 9:20 around there. Went back to color, and I finished page 2 just in time for lunch. And as I was waiting for Monica to finish making lunch, I finished my filling out my book. So it ended like on the 29th, so it was like one day to the end of November. So when I started my next journal, it started with the last day of November and went straight into December, and I got a few days into that and I got tired and I got off. So right now it's 12. I'm gonna go back on. The pages are mostly done. I just need to add the text and load them, so I hope I can do that quickly. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of text for it because there's only at least like, at most there's like I want to say 5 panels, I think. I'm not really sure. I have to go back and look. But But yeah, the computer's booting up right now, so I'm gonna go do that. If I get done early, I'm thinking about going straight back to work on chapter 50 script. I don't know what I'm gonna do about the conversation with Philippe and Warren. I feel like even though I understand the main points that are supposed to be hit, I feel like I cannot figure out how to make Philippe in a reasonable little shit. Because I feel like I'm so focused on what Warren needs to know that trying to figure out how to approach it from Philippe's point of view feels impossible. I have no idea what to do with that fucker. Okay. Alrighty then, that's all for today. I will see you in the next one. Alrighty. It is Monday, but I have to go back to Sunday really quick. So, after I record audio, I went back on and finished pages 1 and 2. I completed and loaded them at like 12:30. It's like the earliest I've ever gotten done before. Oh my god. So I messed around with the Weebly until 1, and then I resumed work on chapter 50. I tried to listen through all the old audio files I've recorded for it, and I couldn't get anything out, and I just was so frustrated with it. So I got off at 2 p.m. and then I unloaded to Monica my frustrations with chapter 50. Of course, we didn't accomplish much, even though we were talking about it for a long time. It's just that her cognitive powers are just not the same. The way she intakes information and whatnot has not been the same since she got schizophrenia, and like I basically was talking to a brick wall. She just felt very helpless with it because she couldn't understand what I was trying to say. And I even wrote everything out on little cards for her and whatnot so she could follow along the beats of the storyline that I needed to hit. And like we kept getting stuck at the same points, which was Philippe cannot lose power to Warren in the conversation, or else we have no villain. And some conversations just incriminate Philippe so badly that he just might as well just get the fuck out. So like that's basically where my problem is, trying to figure out how to balance these. So I feel like at some point, even though that Fouillard was supposed to be the most important topic, if Fouillard comes up, then Philippe has no case. Which makes me feel like, well, they don't know what Fouillard is doing. If they don't know Fouillard is being held hostage, then how is Simon supposed to know to go save him? It just feels like I can't leave that out. So I still have to figure out how to fix that. We gave up and went to bed at 3. I dozed for a bit. I don't remember actually falling asleep. I know I thought about chapter 50 a little bit and about specific points that need to be brought up. I got out of bed at 5:30. I finished the last like 2 panels of the draft I had started yesterday. I turned on the computer at 6. I completed the page 4 line art at 6:40. I started the page 3 line art, but I got tired by 7. And I decided to get off, and I found out that I started my period, so I took a painkiller before I jumped in bed. I tried to wake up at 12 in the morning, or at least 1, but I got up at 1:50, so it might as well have been 2. So I finished the 2 panels I hadn't line arted. I saved the difficult one for last. I scanned page 3 at 2:50. I assembled and passed the page out to Monica at 3:18. And I typed out a little bit of what I thought when I was laying in bed. Then I got off at 3:30. It occurred to me as I got off that I forgot to make a special screen graphics for just Ivy, and then Warren on the side of her, because it was supposed to be her message box that she created, so she should have been the centerpiece. But I decided to just reuse the one I used in the last chapter because I'm too lazy. So yeah. Even though I got in bed, I didn't actually fall asleep. I ended up just laying in bed until 6. Monica got out of bed to make breakfast, and I ended up getting up with her. It occurred to me as I was crossing off the days on the calendar, I forgot to pay the AT&T bill. So, because we also forgot to watch Suriname yesterday, I just went back on the computer. I loaded Suriname. I paid the AT&T bill. And while I was waiting for Monica to finish working on the breakfast, I ended up perfecting the opening of chapter 50. I feel like it does a bit of recapping. It's technically not important. It sort of is. And we've already stated some of this. Some of it should have been obvious, but it might not have been obvious. So, yeah. I felt like I got it to a point in which I didn't want to touch it anymore. So, After that, we ate breakfast. We watched Surene. This is the absolute last episode. Someone said there's going to be a 14th episode, which is going to be a special, but I figure it's going to take place in between chapters or something. But basically, what happened is that they zoned in, they beat the other team, and when it came down to it, Shu couldn't beat Minato, which just left me feeling like I feel like we didn't walk away knowing enough about Shu to justify that. So I don't know what the hell. Okay, so I did like the little end with me and Minato and Masa at the very, very end. I didn't realize that the student that was standing next to him was him. It kind of makes me want to go back to the beginning to see that again. But yeah, I overall I feel like Surene was it was okay. I mean, we did a lot of skipping around in it because there's just so many things in it that we weren't interested in. There was also a lot of plot threads that were started that were just not resolved. And when they were resolved, it kind of felt like, okay, you call that a resolution? You know? It just didn't feel, I just didn't buy it. So yeah. Overall, yeah, I liked it, but it just was not as satisfying as like something like Euphonium or whatever. I mean, KyoAni's other works have been way better. Not to mention, it still felt very under embellished to me. I mean, like, Euphonium and Hyoko were really, really pretty, but like Surene just felt like they didn't have the budget for it. So I don't know. I would have liked it more. Say it's still my favorite. Okay, so got off at 7. We split up. Monica went to color in the pages, and I went to go work on the script again. I worked on the script all the way up until like 8 something. And then I got a light snack, and I decided to go back on at 9. I typed out the majority of what I wrote, but in some parts of it, I felt unsure of myself, and so I didn't type it out. I started coming up with new material between those things, and I'm still trying to figure out what the hell to do with Philippe, because I still feel like, at this point in the thing, they're being very civil, and it has to slowly become more and more uncivilized. And I'm just trying to figure out how to get it there. And on top of this, Pasha's watching, and so far I feel like there is not very many. Warren hasn't made very many points in hit. I haven't had very many opportunities to make Warren seem initially unreasonable, because that was the whole issue with this conflict. Is that if we are to find Warren as being unreasonable, if he doesn't end up being unreasonable, and I'm gonna have to cut that line out. But Warren is supposed to show Pasha in what way he's unreasonable, but then Pasha's also supposed to see later that no, Warren actually isn't as unreasonable as they are making him out to be. So yeah, I worked on the script until 10. Monica passed the pages off to me, and then she went to go make lunch. I stopped and I started coloring in page 4 because it was easier of the two. And I got that completely done, but I had to stop in the middle of page 3 in order to eat lunch. So we ate lunch, we watched a little bit of YouTube, mostly just watercoloring stuff, since that's all YouTube ever recommends me. And then I got tired, I took a break at 10:50, so it's 11 now. Monica's making rice, and I'm recording audio. This is the last audio file of this week, and so I have to remove it, and I have to edit all the audio, so I'm probably going to be working on the audio while I'm doing page 3, and then when I'm adding the graphics and the text to it. So my goal is to try to get done before 1 o'clock. Probably won't be able to, because right now it's 11. Maybe I should go back on at 12. Hopefully if I can get done before 1. I want to see how much further I can get with the script up until 2 or 3. So that's the best case scenario. I might have to stop editing audio to do that. I'm not really sure, because like I find it easier to work on audio in the evening when I'm doing all that drawing. Oh, it reminds me. Okay, so while we're watching YouTube, I got a head start into page 5, I believe. So I started doing that. As far as I know, are there any like really difficult scenes as difficult as the one that I would had to do for page 3? So I guess that's virtually it. The only other thing that happened to me today and it's not really that big of a deal, is that my I'm switching journals. So my I think it's August, and was it August? No, September to January journal is completely done now, and I can't believe I went through that entire book. I feel like I was gonna be in this book forever. It's just and so I'm writing in one of the Michael's books that I got. I'm a little worried I didn't give myself enough room to write, because like each of the columns, it doesn't take me that long to fill it up. Whereas the other book, it took me forever to fill it up, and I was constantly having to go back and fill in spaces. In fact, I still have a whole entire page worth of columns left in this book over here that I haven't filled in yet. I had to figure out how to fill it in, because like at the moment I don't have anything to write. Alrighty then, that's all for today. I will see you in the next one.